At some point in time, it will come out. I think we're live. Well, here we are. This is chapter 33 of the DC Alliance podcast. My name is Greg, the Bad Daddy 52, and with me, as always, my homeboy Travis. What's going on, buddy?
Not much, Greg. Just suffering from the case of the Mondays. A little tired here, but excited to talk about DC. We got some interesting topics and some news that wasn't really news. We were just waiting for this X drop that we'll get into in the final segment.
Yeah, sounds good. Man, it definitely has been a Monday. It's been one of the worst days of work I've had in so long. It's crazy. I don't know why. I'm just, it's work. But anyway, let's talk some DC stuff and have fun. We also have Chris with us tonight. Mr. Balga, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. It's Monday.
Yeah.
That's what I got. I mean, I'm middle of exam week before, got a 4-day kind of week. Yeah, 4-day weekend coming up. So
yeah, there you go. Oh, that's right. Is it Friday a holiday?
No, I've got a actual technical work day on Friday, okay. and then Martin Luther King
is Monday.
Is Monday, yeah.
And with the new Marvel show coming out, what perfect timing for you, Chris.
There you go.
Oh, I might have to change my routine in the morning. So I go and work out in the morning. I might just have to, watch first and then go work
just for
out.
a little while. That's right. Just for a little while.
Have decreased those workouts for a little bit of time, just for these 8 weeks. Take a little hit.
That's right.
I don't know. I'll commit to one. I don't know if I could do it every single Friday, but I'll definitely, because I know my illustrious co-host Travis is going to want to chat about it, as was Brent. Brent's already basically said he's waking up early, so
not surprised.
Yeah,
it's our first Marvel content in a year plus, so I think we've been entitled to it.
Oh, well, of course.
And hey, speaking of your co-host there, Travis, Mr. Snell and Clay are both in the chat room right now. What's up, fellas?
Hello, boys.
So, all right. Well, before we get into business tonight, let's go ahead and get all the paperwork out of the way and talk about the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network, which we are a part of. You can find shows 7 days a week. Monday, you'll find World's Finest Two Relievers. Tuesdays, it's going to be DC Alliance Podcast. I'm actually not going to go through the days. You also have Marvel Alliance Podcast, Star Wars Alliance Podcast, Ranger Alliance Podcast, Slice of Film, Super Civil Servants, Superhero Discussions, and Weird Science, DC, and Marvel Comics. So we got a lot of shows in the network. We're dropping stuff all the time, so check it out. You can find all your content all week long. We also have a Patreon account. $1 tier helps keep the lights on for us. It's just a thank you. We call it a tip jar. We really appreciate everybody who supports us. And then we have a $5 tier, which you can get ad-free early and exclusive episodes with the $5 tier. So it's really fun stuff. We try to put a few things on there, Patreon exclusive, as much as we can. So we have some pretty good stuff on there. Go check it out. But thank you for your support. And I think it's it.
Yeah, you nailed it, buddy.
Nailed it. All right, good deal. Well, let's get started then, man. Travis, I always toss it to you, and you're going to queue up what's going on next. So what's up?
Before we get into the news, Chris has an announcement. This was 99.9999999%. Actually, 100% Chris, and I'm just going to give him the floor.
So we've got a big announcement next week. Let me give you some background. We have a special interview planned for next week. Big time guest, and I'll just be out with it. Sean O'Connell, writer, author of the big upcoming book release of Snyder Cut, The Crazy True Story Behind the Fight That Saved Zack Snyder's Justice League, coming out this March. He is the managing director of Cinema Blend, and he put out last week on Twitter, book's coming out in a couple of months. Any kind of podcast, any kind of YouTube, any kind of interviews, he's more than put it out there. So I reached out to him, and we will be doing a interview with him and asking anything goes. And I asked him if there was anything off limits. He says, nope, ask me anything. He got 30 minutes with me. So we're going to be doing that. I'm really excited. I've got a number of questions, and I know everyone on this chat right now has got a number of questions. We're going to try to finite those to see exactly what are our must ask versus our, if we have time, asks.
Yeah. And it's just like, what a great get, Chris. Like, bravo, reaching out to him, and couldn't be more excited for the network. There's so many things, but the best thing from Sean for me is he's an outsider that just heard the story, and like any of us that have been through this, all we would like to do is just tell somebody like bit by bit what happened, and you can realize then how kind of dirty Zack Snyder was done, and all the weird events leading up to it. And he went from an outsider perspective and dove right in, and now he seems to be just as big a part of the movement as anybody. So this is a great get, and I can't wait. And I'm even honestly, I'm even more curious and excited about his next book because I know so much about the Snyder Cut and what happened.
Right.
Not everything, like I'm sure there's going to be a lot of new stuff, but like I know a lot of the bare bones. But he's doing another book that I have no idea about a lot of the stuff, and I'm really interested about it. And there's nothing obviously pen to paper, but he's got an idea, and I got to get at least one question in about that too, even though it's not DC related.
Oh, it will be for a Marvel side. Yeah, we're definitely getting there. It's about Spider-Man, so we'll definitely do that. But yeah, from what we talked about offline, yeah, this is going to be not live. We're going to do it before you guys go live, but so it will be attached to the front end of the podcast. So make sure if you watch live, you're not going to be able to see it live, but it will be on the podcast feed. So we're real excited, and we appreciate, and we'll say it again when he comes on. Thank him for making the time to come on our show.
And it may be up front end. I may put it on the back end, so you have to listen to the whole podcast just to get to the interview, or you can just hit fast forward. But
you should put it on the front end because I kind of wouldn't mind asking some reaction when I get back. Like, what do you guys think? And I'll just so
there you go, Travis. Work that in.
There you go.
I like it.
So,
all right, man.
We're real excited,
dude. That's an awesome announcement. I can't wait. Thank you so much, Chris. It's going to be awesome to be on here. Nervous. This is easily the biggest person.
Very Snyder-ish for him. You know what I mean? Like paying it forward.
Yes.
Birds of a feather,
Snyder
man.
does that all the time, jumping on everything. But I guess we'll jump into a little bit of news before we have to let Chris go. We'll keep him as long as possible.
Take it away.
And jump into some Wonder Woman news. Before we talk about the box office for this week, they're pushing 14 Academy Awards categories for Wonder Woman. This is not surprising me. I see some hubbub with people, which is pretty hilarious. They're doing stuff like Best Pictures, they're nominating people, including Zack Snyder for people in uproar. Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Actress Gal Gadot, Best Supporting Actress Kristen Wiig, Robin Wright, Connie Nelson, Best Supporting Actor Chris Pine, Pedro Pascal, Best Ensemble Cast, Best Cinematography, Best Film Editing, Best Production Design, Best Costume Design, Best Makeup and Hairstyling, Best Sound, Best Visual Effects. There's some in there that I there's no chance, but like this makes sense. And also, I think Clay pointed out in our chat something that I didn't even think about. There's not a whole lot of movies for 2020.
No, that's what I was going to ask. What competition does it have to go against?
It has some.
Well,
I know
it has some.
Snell knows. I can't remember the movie, but Snell's preached about it since he's watched it. Really good. I can't remember what it's called now. Oh, that'll drive me crazy. If he's in the chat, please let me know.
Promising Young Female.
Movie. There you go.
Changed his name recently. I've got to ask him why.
Oh, okay.
But the thing I put back in our chat with Clay is that in October, the Academy, due to COVID and many different films foregoing theatrical, they added this stipulation in there of saying films which are intended for a theatrical release but initially made available through commercial streaming, VOD services, or other broadcast may qualify under the provisions that the film be made available on secure Academy screening room member site within 60 days of the film streaming, VOD release, or broadcast, that it meets all other eligibility. So this opens up the door to quote unquote, movies that were planned on there. Yes, in a normal year, it would be a lot more that's been out there, but it does create an interesting dynamic. And they said this is just for this Academy only. Sure. We'll see how that goes at that point. But this again opens the door to, more with Netflix, Hulu, a lot of different things that, would have come out streaming, but have used those platforms. And again, people reacting about Wonder Woman, this guy, you don't hear about this a lot, but just because it's big, it's the only biggest blockbuster next to Tenet that's come out, in recently. This is standard protocol. This is a lot of times part of contracts that the studio is going to submit for these kind of awards at that point to meet the obligations to the actors and the producers and the crew. So will it get a nomination? It may, but it takes a lot to get, even though you have up to 10 Academy Awards, even then it's a complex process because it has to have like X number. I want to say it has to have like in the nominating ballot, people have to put it on as one of their top choices on the ballot to get into that 10. So I don't think Warner Brothers is, lost their mind in the sense of submitting, but this is standard operating procedure for them.
Okay, I got you. That was kind of my understanding here, or I had a misunderstanding here, I suppose. So what we're saying is this is what they're bidding in to like try to be nominated for. This is not what they've been nominated for.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
My first understanding of this is what they've been nominated for, and I was looking at this and I was like, wow, okay. But yeah, I guess if you can put yourself up to be voted in or nominate for all of them, why wouldn't you? Or anything that's possible for us. So yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, again, look at the Academy Award winning film Suicide Squad. They submitted for a lot of stuff, but a lot of these films, get the more recognition a lot of times for the technical aspects. Right. That's what Suicide Squad did for, I believe it was Best Makeup. And so again, we did say there was a lot of very cinematography. The Themyscira sequence was just amazing.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So
it makes me wonder. I'm trying to look it up right now online and I can't find it anywhere about how many movies actually came out this year that are eligible to be the Academy Awards.
Usually, yeah, I know they backed up when the Academy Awards are going to be this year. I want to say it's either now March or April. It's usually in February. But it usually the cutoff is, that's why you see a lot of films release around Christmas. It's usually Christmas Day or right around New Year's. So that's why you see a lot of the quote unquote Oscar bait movies come around in December.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that'll be interesting to see. And I don't know if you're going to be able to find, that would be really interesting just because now that new stipulation, that'll be real interesting to see. And I think you might, if it's already getting ready to put, obviously they're putting them out there, it'd be interesting to see like how many are going up for these awards.
Right.
Particularly Best Picture.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they usually announce that kind of stuff as it gets closer to coming out, right?
Yeah, I mean, it'll go out to Academy members. Like, so a lot of people think like, oh, actors are voting on like best sound editing. That's not how it works.
Right.
You vote on what your trade is. You don't necessarily have input on like every single category because again, I
think that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, again, your peers vote on you. So.
Yeah. That makes total sense because I guess I just wouldn't really want to have somebody who doesn't do my job. Maybe understands a little bit of it, but doesn't do my job, judging me on how I'm doing my job, or doesn't.
I mean, obviously, and obviously the big one that a lot of people vote for, obviously, are the picture categories at that point. But I think you got to be involved in it. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
we lost Travis.
Yeah, we lost Travis. I don't know what happened to him. Sometimes his computer shuts down while we're recording, but I don't know I don't think it does because he's still on the Zencaster recording. So I'm not sure exactly what happened to him. So I'll just continue here. I'm not sure where he was going to go next. Generally, Travis is the
someone better jump in because I don't know if I can carry the show.
I hear you. Hey, it'll just be me here talking. So let's talk
I'll stick around as long as I can to get him back in.
Okay. I'm just going to pull an article here then. Okay, let's talk about this. Zack Snyder's Justice League set out for a 4K Blu-ray release shortly after a debut on HBO Max. Are you buying it?
Does Pope poop in the woods? Yeah,
of course
wet? I'm gonna. Yes, news alert. Water is wet. At that point. Exactly. Yeah. No, of course. I mean, like I've said before, like some of our friend Scott over at DC Film Squadcast said, even though he was given a very bad gift of this Jim Lee Steelbook of Justice League, that he very, very bad joke. He's that the disc is gone and the steelbook is still preserved for that, but guarantee you if they do not do a steelbook on this, that is a crying shame. So
I agree.
This is day one purchase, order online. I'll find out where Best Buy is, order that steelbook on Best Buy. That is a guarantee.
Can I be vulnerable here? I've
can be
never bought a Steelbook before.
That's not being vulnerable.
So
you're not alone.
this
might
I
be your
think
first.
This might be my first. Yeah, it really might, because I'm sure it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. And it doesn't say the exact date it's going to be released. It says shortly after release. It says in March as well. So I'm assuming it's going to be very shortly after.
I would guess, because again, we still don't have an official word. And Zach has said in comic book debate, he said reiterating that very soon we're going to start hearing the campaign and understanding whether this is going to be a series as was told, or they will be doing the 4-hour cut,
Yeah.
At that point. But this will be the 4-hour cut. I think that they mean it'll be announced officially, the 4K, but like with everything, if it's going to be in theaters, which it should,
Right.
then they're not going to gut themselves by having it, you pay $20 for it on your 4K instead of going to see it in IMAX,
Do you know a way I think movie theaters could really benefit right now? Because they're doing stuff like renting screens out, and stuff like that. You can rent a theater out in some places. What if you had the option to like bring a movie you wanted to see, or pick a different kind of movie? They get some kind of library where you could choose from different movies to see.
You do.
And pick what movie you wanted. So like if I had the 4K Steelbook of Zack Snyder's Justice League, I'd be like, hey, I've got this, and I want to rent the theater out for $300.
The reason you can't do that at this point is they have those separate deals with studios and distributors that they have to pay for those rights to show, so they can't do it on a whim. So you get a curated list. I think Joe or Clay had talked about that you can see an older movie if you so, but it's every theater is different of what they've made deals for.
Okay, that makes sense. T-Bone, what's up, buddy? You're back.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I guess this points out more than anything, Greg. Gotta look at the chat more, bud. 5 minutes ago, I wrote in the chat.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was
I have a lot going on here.
Which chat? Is it one that I'm not involved in?
No, the actual show chat.
Oh, he went to box office number 10. Yeah, I didn't do that.
Yeah, I know you did.
I didn't do that. Yeah. So.
I was like, we started with Wonder Woman's segue into the box office.
There we go.
But I was just plugging something small in there until you got back. You're the news guy. You're the anchor man.
Yeah. That's not a good thing, Greg. I shouldn't be anchoring anything. Shouldn't be anchoring anything except a flip cup competition.
I will play you in flip cup, sir.
But yeah, the Wonder Woman took kind of a hit this week. According to Deadline, the movie was down 45% with 3 million at 22,018 theaters and a running box office of 32.6 million. It's not looking like this movie is going to do the same number as Tenet, which brought in 58 million domestically. But the pandemic is much worse now than it was over the summer. There's also the HBO Max angle.
Yeah.
And we don't have any numbers. The thing I'm most curious about, if I'm being honest with you, is the total number of plays of Wonder Woman 84 after the 30 days is up on HBO Max.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a very interesting
if we ever get that number, because they don't have to give it to us. I suspect that unless if it's like the way it was the first weekend, where it was the most watched movie, then they'll give it to us. But if it's not very good numbers, we won't hear anything about it, I don't think.
Yeah, and again, we got 2 more weeks for it to still be on HBO Max. So I'm definitely going to watch it one more time, just because I have that ability to do it. So
yeah, I'm sure my daughter, I may sit down with my daughter and watch it again, because my oldest daughter did like it. She's 13. She did enjoy it, but I don't know if she enjoyed it because it was getting to watch a movie on Christmas Day with me on the couch, and it was Wonder Woman. But she seemed like she enjoyed it. We'll see after the second time if she wants to watch it again. I've watched it twice on HBO Max. I got to be honest, I see all these stuff online about how successful it is and how popular it is and people love it. Everybody I've talked to about it, just general audience, people at work that's seen it, really didn't enjoy it. They kind of feel the same way I did. It's not like they hated it, but they were like, it wasn't that great. So I don't get where all these fantastic reviews are coming from. And I think the second week, or not second week, I think what Travis was talking about here about the decline is showing. That's the reason why word of mouth, I think, is affecting it quite a bit for people who haven't seen it.
I think I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's down just for one reason and one reason only. COVID. There's only a finite amount of theaters. It's getting worse and worse each week.
That's true.
We have 5% of our theaters open here in Canada. So like that's a huge chunk. That's 30 million. You do the math.
Yeah, I'm sure it has a huge part to do with it.
Yeah, I think so. I think that maybe I don't think this movie would have done as good as the first Wonder Woman now after watching it. I
Mm-hmm.
thought before this was a shoe in for $1 billion, but I don't know. Like I had fun watching it, but I just I don't see it hauling in that big. But if it, like I said, if it's 30 days on HBO Max is a success, then awesome. I couldn't be
Yeah.
more happy. That's the
Yep.
main thing. That'll be more important, I think, to the people at Warner than the box office numbers here, because after Tenet, they know that anything going out, and I hope too, this kind of discourages. I know they'll say that because it was simultaneous release. I know the people advocating for just theatrical will say that that's the reason that it screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm honestly half hoping one of these directors gets to put their movie just in theaters and it bombs. So they are like, okay, this is like maybe we should take this a bit more serious now.
Mm-hmm.
So I just like I said, I'm more interested in the HBO Max numbers, even though it's only America.
Yeah.
What and my question is, when are they finally gonna? They said summer, I believe, for international. Telling you what, with the now that they theatrical day and date on HBO Max, they better make sure they do that, because I guarantee you they're going to be those quote unquote summer blockbuster movies they have planned. They, that's going to have to get them the numbers they really want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially in tuna, Chris, with this new deal they have potentially reached with like to pay to guarantee filmmakers a payday. I think that's super interesting, and I wasn't gonna throw this in the news for us, but it's
Should, yeah.
Oh, I
kind of
love this.
relevant,
Yeah.
kind of relevant for this, and because Warner Brothers has come out with a new plan to compensate filmmakers during the pandemic. Treat every movie like it's box office smash. Apparently, that's the headline for this article from Bloomberg.
It's kind of what they're doing, though, if you look at it. I mean, the way they have it laid out here to the plan, that's pretty much what they're
Yeah,
saying.
because honestly, it's things like I don't know how successful Godzilla versus Kong would have been. Like I could be wrong, but I don't see it being as successful now. Maybe like The Matrix, I could see, but I see some of these in here, and to get this deal regardless, I think is a good thing in this kind of COVID world.
Well, I think they just did title, Batman versus Superman, Kong versus Godzilla. I think just on the, I'm not comparing the two, but I'm just saying people know King Kong and Godzilla just on the idea at that point.
Even
just
if you're not a King Kong or Godzilla fan, you might see that and be like, "Oh, that might be worth seeing."
Yeah, I just want to see. I know what I'm getting into. I'm getting into a monster movie. I want to not think about COVID for 2 hours. I want to see monsters kick the crud out of each other. And
Chris, I'm more likely to watch that at home.
No, I get that. I'm just saying, like, in the sense of like eyes on it, like even just streaming it or going to the theater at that point. Yes, is it one of those I got to go see it in a theater? I would say it's another one of those movies that is a theater experience movie that you do lose something from it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you're right.
In its scale,
Yeah.
So.
Oh, you're 100% right, especially with all the lights off in the theater, like it's experience. Because I watched the Godzilla movie, even though it wasn't nearly as good, but the Godzilla movie with Bryan Cranston in it, and
the first one, King of the Monsters.
Yeah, and that was very cool to see in theaters.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I take it back. It was just Godzilla. It was just Godzilla. Yeah.
All right, so the plan is like it's kind of we talked about how it kind of makes sense with the headline here, but they're basically taking like when the directors or everybody would get a bonus for the amount they would hit in theaters, they're cutting that in half. So you hit half that bonus and you get or hit half that mark and you get paid the bonus.
And it says to go down even further if COVID plays an even bigger factor. It's basically calling it a COVID multiplier.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's my question is on this one. I think it's great, and I think our buddies at Academy Rewind when I put that out there had a response. Commented back on the article saying that, looking at views on HBO Max, if that, I mean, the article didn't go into that being considered. How it's not at this point, I'm guaranteeing you by they're going to have to start restructuring the deals, because if, like you said, if COVID becomes a bigger thing and they're relying more on views, that has to be a bigger consideration at that point, because studios are just going to be, I don't want to say hemorrhaging, but I mean, like they want to ensure people are watching it and getting the views. So that has to be eventually, if it's not already being discussed, it needs to be. But my other thing is this, not everything just comes about in a few weeks. This had to have been a discussion point. And again, WB, Warner Brothers, poor messaging, poor things. It's like, if you wanted to get the people on your side, that should have been in front of it. I'm not saying it would have solved the Chris Nolan issue and other people about like being you're never going to appease them, because this doesn't solve that problem. But as we said, the actresses can be quote unquote angry, but they're still getting rich. Right. To your point, Greg, that you bring up at that point. So again, it's their agent, it's their publicist, there's things like that take the back end off of the salary at that point. So again, I'm kind of surprised it's taken this long for this to come out. I'm not saying they don't have to do some extra dots and I's at this point, but kind of like when the deal came out, they didn't just wake up. Keelar didn't wake up one day and say, okay, we're just going to do the full slate.
Right.
Chris, to your point too, this is kind of similar for sports ways. Either have a whole professional league bargains with its athletes, you always get the public perception of the athletes are being greedy and wanting more.
True.
And those are that's the PR machine for that league, putting that out there, getting that out there in all kinds of stories. And I feel it's very similar to that here. Like this, like kind of mirrors it for me.
Yeah, you play the PR game at that point, because I think I said it too when Keelar when they put this out there, saying this is a smack across the face, in the sense of, we're going to get out there, we're going to get the public saying, this is awesome, this is great, and then start hearing it's like, oh, well, I don't know. I mean, all the rich people, all the rich actors and producers and things like that are coming out. It's got billionaires versus millionaires, or
You're right. This piece should have completely like accompanied or followed the next day of the announcement for HBO. Like this kind of piece here is perfect, because then what can you say when they have, we're going to compensate filmmakers for it, like in the time being, because you can't sit on these movies for like over and over, because you got movies you're supposed to be releasing as well. You have slate planned for 2021, 2022. You kind of had ideas of that before COVID, and you can't just like have like too many films as well. You got to have dates to put them on to make them financially successful. So it's a very big juggling act. And I think putting it on a HBO Max is a smart thing, because like as the Variety story says, more movie releases are getting ready to like go back.
Yeah.
Or if you're Sony, you keep on punting them like Morbius.
Yeah. So there you go. There's another one, and they're hoping that they don't have to put back. I'm trying to say Venom. There will be carnage. I can't believe I just said. I just wanted to say Venom 2 so bad.
That's okay. You can say Venom 2. I do.
Well, I mean, and then, this segues right into this whole thing about the other companies having to decide something, because you're right, they've got so many movies coming out, and it's this article you sent me from Variety's kind of asking, was HBO Max kind of ahead of the curve, or like Warner Brothers kind of ahead of the curve on this? Because it's basically lays out that if things don't get better within the next month, there's almost certainly going to be delays on these movies.
Yes.
So would you rather make something off this, or nothing at all for the next who knows how long?
But see, it's not making nothing. Like, it's hoping that you'll make what you thought you were going to make before this ever happened, which I think is a fool's errand. And Chris said something, I think on SCS a couple weeks ago, that I was the first person through the door in terms of this for HBO Max. And I think that is exactly it. They took the brunt of the abuse from critics, from online, not fans, everyone but fans, in my opinion. And I think that it's a smart way to go. I mean, you could see this here some more, not for Sony, but for other studios, maybe making a partnership with a Peacock, or maybe making a partnership with there's Apple. There's so many possibilities here with this COVID that I don't know, because like I was telling Chris, the first hour of my Wonder Woman watch was interrupted quite a bit. Like it was
Yeah, I
very
remember
hard
you
to
saying
immerse
that, yeah.
myself. And like I said, we have 5 active cases now. And I went back to the theater today. I feel the exact same way. There was a man coughing up there, and he could have smoked a big cigar before he come in. He could have been really excited, saying, "I'm watching Wonder Woman," and had a big cigar and come in, and that's why he was coughing. But obviously, what am I going to think? And just
Right.
thought, like, my God, where is he coughing to? Can it carry to me? And like very irrational thoughts. And trying to watch the Themyscira, that was exactly when that happened. Oh, it was so frustrating. So.
Yeah.
Uh, that's the kind of stuff that I wish, and I don't even have HBO Max, but I wish I could have rented it VOD. So there you go. I'll take
How much
the
is a
VOD
VOD
option.
for you all?
$29.99.
Okay.
And 48 hours. I think it is.
How much is a movie ticket?
I paid $12, but it was a Tuesday.
I said, but you also drive 3 hours to spend the gas, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So in the
I
end,
don't normally.
Yeah.
Like the theater is 2 minutes away from where
Oh,
I
okay.
live.
Okay.
But I
You were
was
with
a
your
visit.
folks.
Yeah, I was a visiting my
I
folks,
got you,
and I
just
was
for
like,
that
I'm making
situation.
this
Okay.
trip. So 6 hours later, I was back with my folks.
Makes sense. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you want to go ahead and take a break before we move on to the next news topic?
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead and knock it out of the way. All right, folks.
What do you got next?
Tell 'em
We
we got.
have the Green Arrow and the Canary news.
Okay, I'll stick around
Okay.
for that just because
Yes. I figured you might want to.
I want pain. I don't know if I want that much pain, but I
I hear.
finger.
All right. Well, folks, we're an ad-supported network. Bear with us for a few seconds, and we'll be right back. All right, and we're back. So, Travis, get us started, man. Canaries.
Yeah. How about the worst kept secret for the last couple months, especially how fast they moved on Superman and Lois and Painkillers potential spinoff. Green Arrow and the Canaries is not getting picked up by the CW, which is very surprising.
So.
It's very surprising in one sense because not very often do DC CW shows or potential shows get axed. They're usually all greenlit, and we get to see them. So this obviously series would have seen Catherine McNamara, Katie Cassidy, and Julia Harkavy reprise their roles as Mia Queen, Laura Lance, and Dinah Drake, respectively. And I really enjoyed the backdoor pilot, season 8, episode 9 of Green Arrow, or Arrow, sorry. And I'm a little sad we're not going to get to see any more of these characters, especially Mia, as she really grew on me, and also Earth 2 Laurel, the Laurel that was here. I'll never get tired of saying that I wish that's how the character was in the beginning.
Yeah.
Or somewhat like that, but we wouldn't have gotten Sarah, so I don't want to get into a whole Arrow thing. But yeah, it sucks, but definitely can see it, and I don't know what they're going to do, but clearly these shows like Arrow and Flash and Supergirl, a lot of their characters aren't going to be around much longer, in my opinion, for the Arrowverse.
Yeah, I mean, when we kind of talked about this on Friday in the chat, it's very evident that I see more and more now that this could be the last season of The Flash. We just haven't heard the announcement yet, and by some ungodly idea that Legends of Tomorrow may be our
Legends gets
last.
the most seasons. I don't even know what I'm going to say.
The one that we said is the most expensive show to produce in the sense of just like character properties and things like that. But, it is very obvious that you look at Arrow, Black Lightning, Supergirl, possibly the Flash. They'll have the most amount of talent, highest paid at that point. And what do we have left at that point? We have all the new shows and potential spinoffs that are coming on board with less paid actors. So your bottom line goes down, and just a whole new wave of a DCCW, which right now Flash is now Flash and Supergirl, and I give it now the edge to Supergirl right now because their seasons have been much better at that point. It should, we all thought it would be the Flash, but Flash last couple of seasons has not. Supergirl has picked up that banner, but it's who's going to be the standard bearer, out of these new shows. I mean, the easy guess is hopefully Superman and Lois, but we don't know.
Yeah,
that trailer left a lot to be desired.
Trailer.
the stable show could very well end up being Legends of Tomorrow. I never thought that would come out of my mouth.
I don't think
Bebo
anybody
is
thought
life.
that would have come
Bebo
out.
is
So,
life.
like,
Chris is right too. I already see the season finale of the series finale of The Flash finish line. Bam! There's your series finale title card, and uh, Chris was also being very kind because the last couple seasons of The Flash sucked so bad. Like, it really disappointed me because, like, how much did I love the first two seasons of The Flash? Like, it was amazing, and to see it go the way it is, maybe it's not such a bad thing if it does go. But like Chris said, who's going to pick up? Who's going to pick up the mantle? Because that's who I saw picking it up for when Stephen Amell left was Grant Gustin, but I don't see that anymore. And I, like Chris says, I kind of like, if you're a betting man, you got to put your money on Superman and Lois, but who knows if that is even going to be a hit.
How about this? Stargirl is, in my opinion, right now the standard bearer.
But that's not going to be in the CW anymore, right?
No, it is. It moved from DC Universe to CW.
Essentially, Greg, instead of, how after these shows are over, they get dropped on Netflix, like after the season is over. That's going to happen for HBO Max now, I think. That won't be happening with Netflix.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
yeah, right now it's Stargirl, which is just joining the CW. So that's, I mean, I can't say they're wrong in that assessment. It's just really interesting to how things have changed. I mean, the shows that are, you got the Painkiller show, you've got Wonder Girl,
we still haven't gotten the backdoor pilot for the Painkiller show yet, have we?
No, we haven't. No. Yeah. I mean, we've got the new Batgirl. I think that premieres this Sunday.
Yeah.
Ryan Wilder, everyone get ready. Costume looks outstanding. So
we will be talking about that on Monday.
I got to watch something nice post. Yeah, there we go.
So, I mean, the shows are starting to come back, but you and I have talked about this on the Amalgam chat. DCCW is in a very painful place right now, and they've got 2 years to figure themselves out. And I give it 2 years because, again, you've got the roll off of the old shows. I'm willing to give it, a full extension of all the new shows that are coming out to really see exactly what's going on. Where do you?
Then they're going to fail, and then Arrow's going to be revived, and I'm going to be the happiest camper ever.
One more season, do it one more time.
And if Onomatopoeias, I'm not even going to say it. I will flip things over if they don't actually do that.
Come on, you've got the material. You got Kevin Smith. You've got that.
True.
See, he came back.
Kevin Smith. What's his name? Michael Rosenbaum did not like Kevin Smith because of something Kevin Smith said about him leaving the role of Lex Luthor. They patched that up completely on his podcast, and they're best friends. All I need is for that same kind of thing to happen with Kevin Smith and Stephen Amell. There's the same kind of thing there where Kevin Smith said something that Stephen Amell took disparaging for Arrow, and they haven't really. So I hope they hash things out and the same exact thing happens.
I think Kevin's a lot more willing to patch that up.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah,
I don't ever. He didn't mean it. He never means it like that. The same thing happened with Ben. He thought, I don't even know if it did, but he told stories like that he thought were funny, good stories, and I can honestly see it in Ben's way too. You had that guy like, dude, like this is supposed to be in confidence that this happened.
Oh God, that's scene in Jane Silent Bob reboot. That was that was the most touching part of that entire movie.
Well, the story about that was so great. Yeah. About how he got him there. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, this sucks for Green Arrow and Canaries. I think this keeps the door open for my Arrow revival for a season, reunion season down the line. I guess the only thing we have from Arrow now to hope for is Diggle in his appearances this season. That's something that's going to keep me hooked to these shows. I think even if the storylines aren't going to be good, I'm just wondering when Diggle's going to show up and if he's going to be hella green.
Green Spartan.
In brightest day, blackest night.
I mean, I got to say, if he does not show up as Green Lantern, he's in 5 episodes across all different shows. Like Greg Berlanti, go to Brent types and kick him in the nuts because it doesn't get any worse than that. It doesn't get any worse than that.
I will bet at the very least we will see him suit up in Legends because he is scheduled to be in Legends for that episode. That would be, I would like it in more one of the mainstream. But if it's going to be any show at this point, Legends is our gateway to seeing him in an alternative. If we're going to do an alt universe.
How pissed you? Oh, sorry.
And then they can be like, well, we can't have him on anymore, or we're going to have to get rid of him because he has powers. So just appreciate these couple episodes that he's on right now. Because if he's a regular cast member, he gets toast.
Mm-hmm. What if they? How pissed would you be if they bring him back and he's in all 5 episodes as a Green Lantern, but you don't get to see the suit until the very last episode?
I wouldn't. If I got to see the suit, I would be okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like
save all the money for the very last episode. Have him in the suit the whole time.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Greg. I just miss Diggle. Like he even in that last year, arguably the best episode of the second half of Flash was the episode that Diggle was on right after Crisis. Mm-hmm. Like that one had more heart than most of the rest of that season, and that was just a side character from a different show, Diggle, connecting with Barry. And even that just meant like more meat in the rest of the season of the Flash. So regardless of if he's there eating cereal, having a chat with Mick on Legends, I'll be okay with it. I'll be a little disappointed, but at this point, being the Arrow fan that I am, just give me more David Ramsey, please.
Yeah,
I agree. Man, wouldn't it be cool to have Phil Lamar just come back? Just to have those two just be there and how about that kind of I mean, I don't care how it happens in there because he wasn't Supergirl at that point. I don't know if that's even possible, but maybe just drop that little bit of a voice in there and just have him just saying,
like is my Green Lantern.
Greg doesn't understand who Phil Lamar is at this point. He was He's the voice of Green Lantern in Justice League.
Okay. I was trying to understand. I was trying to think about who it is. Yeah,
he's also
Red Sun.
Oh, Chris.
He was in Red Sun,
and he's also John Jones' father in Supergirl.
Yep.
Okay.
So
wait,
I've seen
that's Carl Lumbly.
Yeah, it's Carl Lumbly. Yeah, Carl Lumbly. And so that was his brother.
Yeah, I get two of them mixed up sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that would be a cool kind of meeting. That would be a very meta thing. Supergirl is not above doing that though.
No, God, no. Like John Cryer.
All right, what's next, man?
All right. Well, I gotta head on out.
You getting out? All right.
Yep, I'm getting out.
Real quick, you want to tell everybody where they can find you at?
Yep, you can find me on Twitter at Chris Balga, World's Finest True Believers at Finest Believers, and make sure you are checking out on the live. Marvel Alliance goes live tomorrow, or technically you drop this tomorrow, so later tonight. Yeah. We've got a huge show. Kevin Feige had a lot of gems dropped with promoting WandaVision, and we got some main topics looking at Punisher as a symbol, whether it continues. We've got looking at possibly Doctor Doom, and a little guy named Deadpool might be making his officially in the MCU as a rated R movie. So we'll be talking all about that and tons more.
Can't wait, Chris. I'll be in the chat. I'll be in the chat tomorrow.
Yep. Oh yeah. So good fun. We might be going live early, but pay attention to our Twitter feed. We'll put that announcement out there. It won't be too much early, but since we got a lot to talk about, we wanted to make sure to give a lot of time to it. So
look forward to it.
All right. Thanks for letting me crash, boys.
Thanks for coming, man. Thanks again, Chris.
Later, bud.
Bye-bye. All
right. Dynamic duo. What's up, man? Where are we going next?
Batman Robin. We're going, Greg, to Jerry Haji's Joe Barton will reportedly serve as the new showrunner for the Batman's Gotham-focused HBO spin-off series. So this is pretty interesting to me. He's taking over. So I think I'll like this show. It all depends. I want to see some Batman. This is supposed to be year one of Batman being around. So it all depends. I hope this doesn't just retread a lot of Gotham things. But it's nice to see that they have another showrunner and that they're going forward with this spinoff.
I hear you. Well, My question about the show. This is in the Reeves universe. It's year one. But Pattinson's not like they haven't said he's going to be in the show at all, right?
Yeah, they haven't said he isn't either.
But they said he isn't. You're right. So, but in theory, couldn't you just put anybody that with a thin
Yeah,
chin behind the cowl?
yeah. Or you could put a stunt
So
double there, right? You could
yeah,
easily put a stunt double there. I think that they should because that's the one thing that, in my opinion, hurt shows like Marvel's Agents of Shield
hmm
is that they are in the same universe as all these Marvel Cinematic Universe movies,
but they
but
never
you
connect.
never
Yeah.
know, like you don't see Thor showing up or Iron Man. You see like a third kind of character, like a not even a secondary character in
hmm
Thor, or Samuel L. Jackson show up from like Nick Fury instead of any
hmm
of the main Avengers. So I think you need to have it connected to the
hmm
movie universe that it's spanning from. So seeing more of that will I think
Make it
do well.
better for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So okay, but if it doesn't, like if you don't see Pattinson in there at all, is that going to bother you? Do you think you can still enjoy the show? Because
Oh,
I agree with you. I want to see Batman a little bit. I mean, but I don't necessarily have to know a lot about Bruce Wayne at that point. I'll save the
yeah.
Bruce Wayne stuff for the movies. Just give me some scenes with a Batman, an action scene, something Uh, I don't. It doesn't have to be a main part of the story, but I want him to exist in this universe where we know a little bit about him. You know.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that happens. But I don't know anything about
No, I haven't seen any of
Joe Barton.
his.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know anything about it. So we'll see what happens.
yeah. I
But
guess we'll jump to another bit of news that really interests me, which is how Gotham Knights enhanced Arkham's combat system.
mhm.
So this is just something out of I don't know. They're diving in a little bit more into the Gotham Knights game being
Mhm.
developed by WB Montreal, who previously developed Arkham series prequel Arkham Origins. uh, and this is going to be like you're going to be able to cycle through. And just some quotes here: we have entirely redesigned the combat system in order for it to work well in co-op, because that's part of the experience. That part of the experience is really exciting for us. Of course, we're still a brawler, and some of the mechanics won't feel totally alien for people who've played and enjoyed the Arkham series, but it is in many ways very different. Designing a combat system from scratch has its challenges indeed, but it's been very stimulating one, and we're very proud of the result. So this tells me that they're not going to completely take the fight engine from the Arkham games and put it into
Mhm.
this, because like for Spider-Man Miles Morales, they took the exact uh, combat style exact. They put some cool lightning things into it, but it was pretty much the same thing.
Right. But
So
you don't mess with perfection there. I don't think.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, no, well, it's not only that they had to put it out quickly, right?
Yeah.
So people were questioning how are you putting this game out so quickly when you don't have to design a new fight engine, when you can just take the existing one and just do some improvements on it. That cuts out the time like greatly. But
Oh yeah.
they took the time to make its own fight engine here, and that's exciting. So Reading follows that up by describing why co-op makes sense for Batman. The two-player dynamic fits the fantasy and the Gotham setting. The duo or team up is such a central feature in the universe that there's a little shorthand for it in the comics and in animation, in film and TV versions. And Gotham is a city of alleyways and rooftops, so the footprint for gameplay needs to be compatible with that.
hmm
That's just like stuff that makes me really excited for this game, but it seems like they're
Yes.
going the extra mile, Greg, in my opinion.
I have complete faith that this is going to be an amazing game. There are not many games that I'm ready to buy day one when it comes out. I'm probably going to be buying this one when it comes out day one. Insanely excited for it. I love the idea of the co-op fighting. I mean, I guess I kind of got that with like the Marvel Alliance games or the Ultimate Alliance games. Uh,
Yeah, I hope
and
they
they,
don't
they were
do.
fun, but they were just kind of button mashers. This
See,
one's actually has a fighting style where it's not just smashing a bunch of buttons like Greg on NBA 2K. It's, you know, play some basketball or basketball. God, fight a fight. God, see, I confused myself there. It's fight a fight, and I enjoy that. So I'm very excited for this game. I think I only own one or two. I think I own two of the Arkham series games. Um, And I kind of fell off it after a little while. Not that the games were boring, just time.
Played them all, loved them all. Can't wait for this. Super exciting. Super excited for this, Greg.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There's not much else to it besides that.
I'm looking at this picture, dude. I love the costumes on this. Like,
oh yeah,
God, I can't wait to get Nightwing on the big screen at some point in time, man. It's gonna be so fun.
Been waiting for a while on that one, Greg. Been waiting for a while. Well, eventually we'll see it, though. I'd say.
I think so.
Want to take one last break before we nail out the last little bit of news?
I was just about to ask you that. Let's do it. All right, folks. Once again, we're going to take a real quick break. Just bear with us for a moment. It helps keep the lights on, but we'll be right back. All right, and we're back. Let's knock out this last little bit of news here.
Okay, Greg. We had a Henry Cavill Superman trend this past weekend. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty cool. Zack Snyder shared an old photo of Henry Cavill wearing the old Superman, like Christopher Reeve suit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just loved it. Thought it was so cool. This was trending all over my Twitter. I don't know if it was for you, but I'm excited, and I hope that people at WB noticed this, or Warner noticed this, and I want another Henry Cavill Superman movie.
I think that after Zack Snyder's Justice League, there's just my prediction. There's going to be a lot of changes with how the studio feels about Zack Snyder's casting characters and storyboard going forward.
Don't think so for the studio, because I think there's an internal civil war at Warner with the DC films and they don't. Yeah, Greg, why would you say this? Why would you have a story of this as a cul-de-sac for storytelling before it comes out? If you said they want to make money, wouldn't you want that to not come out until after if this could potentially make money? So that doesn't seem they want to make money on their own terms, not stuff that they were against to have success. So I wouldn't say.
I mean, sometimes you just got to admit you're wrong. If it means making a lot more money,
we're talking about. You're talking about these people admitting that they were wrong.
I think that if money talks to these people enough I'll say that I'm wrong. We're still going to get our cut of this.
No, never once have I heard anyone like that say it. No one's come out and said Justice League and anything about Justice League saying we were wrong.
But that's the thing is they can have the Zack Snyder Justice League come out and it be an insanely big popular hit, re-sign these characters, re-sign Snyder, whatever, and not even say you're sorry. And guess what? We're still going to eat it up if they did that. They don't have to apologize to us. They know that. We know that. I don't want their damn apology. Just your apology to me is to move forward with what's going on with Snyder if it's a success. So that's your apology. I don't need it in words. Just do it.
But who's apology? The people who greenlit Zack Snyder's Justice League are the ones. What? They're like Jason Collard. That don't make any sense to me. What you just said. Like they don't have to apologize. They greenlit it. I'm talking about WB Films don't want it. Like that's not anything to do with them. Like Collard and them greenlit this. This was not WB Films or Pictures or anything. So they're the ones that made the changes in the beginning before this ever happened, and they're not going to apologize. That's what I was basically saying. And then you were like the people that are releasing it. So no, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have got this movie in general.
That was my misunderstanding. I wouldn't refer to Collard and them. I was just talking about Warner Brothers Studios. I think they should apologize once this becomes a huge
but they will never do that.
Yeah, you're right. They won't. You're right.
No, especially not after.
But they don't. Like I said, they don't have to.
No, I know.
So they could decide we want to put this on the big screen again one day, or we like this direction and not apologize to you.
I don't think that they're going to be making. I don't know how much power they got to make decisions. If I'm being completely honest with you, but we're chasing squirrel too far here now. Yeah, let's reel it back in. Let's go with. There was a Flash movie rumor that Danny DeVito's Batman villain could return, and this segues to a question from friend of the show, Marvel Alliance co-host. Travis Snell. Yes, he said, so I got a question for DCA. Yes, it doesn't make sense as he died in '89, but would you be up for Nicholson making a cameo appearance? Could imagine that, seeing Keaton and Nicholson, two people so responsible for the comic book boom, being on screen together one more time before Jack passes away. First of all, even thinking Jack passing away bums me out like immensely. Like I don't want to even think about that. I want to think of him still at the bars. How old is Jack Nicholson?
Old. Let me find out for you. Hold on. This bothers me, to be honest with you.
83 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn,
No, I don't think I want to see Jack
No.
as Joker that old.
No, it's just like I don't want to see Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones anymore. It's not that I don't like the character or I don't like the way they portrayed it or anything like that. Let it be where it was left at. Like leave it there. Don't.
He's alive, so I'm not even gonna. I think that if he wants to come back, I'm
That's
okay
true.
with that. I make jokes about Indiana Jones 4 to hunt for old age pension, but
for Social Security, yeah, for Social Security,
we call it old age pension here. But I just think that he died. He died in '89.
Right.
You could do it telling him being from another world entirely, but I think you would have to show that Earth on its own. Because I think that him being on Keaton's Earth, I don't want to see that. I'd rather see Michelle Pfeiffer, if I'm being honest with you, because the same thing applies with Penguin here. But when the rumor is Danny DeVito's Batman villain, the Penguin could return, I don't want to see the Penguin either because of the same thing. He died.
Exactly. It takes away from the ending of that movie, even though Batman doesn't kill. He killed those two guys. Well, Batman.
I don't know if he killed either one of those, Greg. To be honest with you, Catwoman killed Shrek, and I don't think he killed Penguin. I think Penguin sort of was responsible for his own
slithered
demise.
into the water by himself. Yeah.
I think he was responsible for his own demise. So
yeah,
I think Batman might have a case for manslaughter in one of those, but I think he'd be okay with his money.
I think so too,
I if I'm being honest with you, Snell, I don't want to see Jack come back. I think that 89 is completely fine for us. And I didn't know he was 83. The fact that he's 83, hell no, and he died. Yeah, like I said, the only way I would be okay with it personally is if it showed another Earth where Jack Nicholson's Joker is still alive. Maybe an Earth where he killed the Batman.
But see, then you'd have to create a whole nother Earth.
Yeah, I don't know if you had the time in the movie, so I just think let it rest, let it be. You could have Bruce married, like Michael Keaton's Bruce married to Selena, Michelle Pfeiffer, in that time. That could be a thing too. So you could do something like that instead if you want to bring back a villain. But I don't think. See, you don't want to fall into the trap of copying Spider-Man either, right? Like I don't think you need to be focused on villains returning for the Batman movie. I think the Batman were more iconic than the villains. Yes, I know Jack was really good at Joker, but Jack's Joker's hurt from Heath's Joker kind of overshadows Jack's Joker to the point pre Dark Knight it was held in a lot more reverence than it is in my opinion now.
Well, I think that's why Keaton's was too until Nolan's came out. I think it was held in pretty high regard. I think it still is.
Still is.
I agree.
Still is.
Yeah,
I think he is a lot more than Nicholson for some reason. But yeah, I don't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'd rather see, if I'm being super honest, rather see a cameo where I'd rather see Christian Bale and a villain from his rogues gallery compared to Keaton and Penguin, just because they're a lot older.
Yeah. Now, I don't like this. To be honest with you, like I said, the character's already dead. They've established that the Michael Keaton is from the Tim Burton universe, which those two characters are already dead. So I don't like they did that. Jack Nicholson talks about how difficult it was to play that role, the psychological effects he had about that role.
Jack Nicholson did that, or Heath Ledger?
No, Heath Ledger definitely had that, but yeah, Jack Nicholson talked about it too. I read an article the other day. I'll send it to you about how Jack Nicholson was talking about how hard it was to play the Joker. At 83 years old, he's not going to play the Joker.
Just don't think he needs to anyway.
Yeah. I mean, here's an idea. You can bring back Billy D and do Two-Face.
He's too old too, Greg. Like, you don't need to do that. Bring him back.
He just did Star Wars, right?
Yeah, that's. You want spoiler alert? Spoiler alert! He was too old for that too, Greg. If I'm being honest with you.
That's true.
So like,
you only need it for a second though. Just one quick shot.
Like no, then you're getting into crisis territory. You're just throwing stuff in for a second.
Have Batman go into his funeral.
Look at this shiny thing here. Oh, look. No, I don't want that. I want it for a story. I don't want it just. Trust me, that was part of the reason that Crisis was such a jumble mess.
Look
in
at
my
this. Look
opinion.
at
It was
this. Look
like,
at this.
oh,
Yeah.
cameo here, cameo here, cameo
Mhm.
here. Forget
But
about story.
some of them
Forget
were
about
pretty cool
story.
cameos.
Oh, I'm not saying they
we were
weren't.
excited about those cameos.
Oh yeah, but that just upon rewatches, those cameos lose a lot more luster, and then stories left there. And if story sucks, then it kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth. So, I guess thank you. Wait, first of all, thanks Snell for the question.
Thank you very much.
And I guess we'll get into the would you rather's. I have them already brought up here.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so our first would you rather is Batman is missing. You get your choice of Robin to protect Gotham. Would you rather fight alongside Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Damian Wayne, or Tim Drake?
Landslide. This one was, and a lot of
Pretty
votes.
easy.
A lot of votes on
for
this
the
one.
for the best Robin, in my opinion, and the
100%
best,
agree. Yep.
and the one that break off and the best in his own way.
And not knocking any of the Robin in the situation. I obviously voted for Dick Grayson. Not knocking any of the Robin because I would fight next to all of them if I could. But that's my guy. That's the guy I'm choosing.
Same.
100%. You know, like Dick Grayson is the closest thing to Batman I think you can get. So
I think you're right there, Greg, and I also think he has the most expertise, and he can fill the role of Batman while he's missing. We've already seen that. You've seen that in animated. Even you've seen that in animated.
I have seen it animated. That's right.
So, yeah, that would get my vote as well. Pretty nice one. You've inspired me from this one to put out one of my own that I thought of just then. So
nice. Feel free to do that anytime you want to.
Oh yeah.
And fans, by the way, if y'all have some good hot takes on would you rather's or just something you would like to put out there, DM me. Let me know. I'm definitely looking for ideas all the time. So.
And also, Dick Grayson was 60%. Jason Todd was 9%. Damian Wayne was 13%, and Tim Drake was 18%.
Wow.
I know one person that voted for Tim Drake.
I know one person that voted for Tim Drake too, and I put Tim Drake in there just for him.
Well, there's only 4 Robins.
Well, you could have put Carrie Kelly.
I'm going to just give your Carrie.
The other female one? I can't remember.
Just stop.
I thought about that, but I was like, no, he'll be mad if I don't put Tim Drake in there. Which Tim Drake
got to.
He's got to. I agree with you. I know. I thought about him when I put it in there.
No. Second one. You can be Superman from now on, but in order to do so, you have to give up one of these powers. Would you rather give up flight, strength, speed, or invulnerability? And speed won out big time with 56%. Flight had 24%. Strength had 8%. Invulnerability had 12%.
Yeah. I think this one's a no-brainer for me, at least. I know I discussed it with a few people on Twitter about just, and people raise good arguments. Once again, this is a choice, but I don't think most people don't want to give up strength and vulnerability because you could do almost anything with those.
No one's giving up flight.
No one's, I'm not giving up. Apparently some people are. I'm not giving up flight. Okay. And people had debates about, or not debates, but we discussed it on Twitter about the speed thing. And my thing is, I think that even if you fly slow, you're still flying faster than you could run fast. You know what I mean? There's no way you can't fly faster than you can run, or at least as fast as you can run.
I'm assuming you can fly at least as fast as a plane.
Yeah, because I mean, you have to be able to be somewhat fast. That doesn't mean you're a speedster. That doesn't mean you're flying around the world fast enough to change the direction it spins. But you could fly and you have some speed. So my only thing is, then the only person you got to worry about is a speedster, in which you could fly away from if you ever needed to. So for me, it's just get rid of speed. I would love to have the speed. Don't need it though. Like I can get by just fine without the speed. For me,
that's what I voted for. That's what I voted for as well. But yeah. I can also see invulnerability as one. Just train like Batman.
Yeah, but you know what? You're right. But whenever you got 60 against one and they've got firearms, and vulnerability works out pretty nice because you're going to get hit by one of those. Something, you know. I just feel like invulnerability and strength.
You got super speed. Flash doesn't have invulnerability per se.
You know what?
You gotta got super healing.
He regenerates fast. He heals
super
fast.
healing, but I mean.
But you know what? That's a very good point.
That's if I was going to pick one of the. That's if I was going to pick another one other than speed.
Yeah.
Like,
so if you were going to pick another one other than speed, it'd be invulnerability?
Yeah, just because of the skills. Having those 3, I think I can compensate more for. I think I can compensate more for the invulnerability. than if I didn't have strength or flight.
I don't want to give up invulnerability, man, but I really don't want to give up flight either. I'm just gonna stick with I'm giving up one. I'm not gonna make another choice.
I'm just
like,
trying to throw out a different choice.
Yeah, because I don't think it'd be tough to make the choice between invulnerability and flight for me because those are both pretty awesome powers to have. So, thank everybody for participating in that.
Yeah.
Try to put a couple of those out a week. Just throw some votes on there, share with a friend, see how many we can get up there. We're getting quite a bit of votes on a few of these now, which is pretty cool. So I really like that. But once again, if you got any ideas, hit me or Travis up. Hit us up on the show. Always looking for good would you rathers because I have a little well of them, for emergencies. But every week I kind of sit down and I'm like, okay, what can I do to think about this? And usually it takes a few minutes. You can think of some pretty good questions. So I think that's it, man. Did you have anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. I think we covered everything. Yep. I got one, two, all these news.
One other thing. There may be a announcement for superhero discussions in the future, maybe a month or so away. That's all I'm going to say. Nothing for certain yet.
Do I have to wait a month, or can you tell me after we get off here?
You should already know if you even looked at any of your messages.
Yeah, that usually has a lot to do with it. Yeah,
it may be nothing at all. But
did you send me a message during the show?
No, it was like 2 days ago, dude.
Okay. All right, I'll go check that out. But all right, man. Well, tell us where they can find you at.
You can find me on Twitter at Travis_156. Just drop me a line. We can chat about DC anytime.
Same way, man. You can find me on Twitter at the Bat Daddy 52, my personal handle, or check us out at DC Alliance Podcast 1 on Twitter, at GUA Pod Network on Twitter. Check out our Patreon, like, share, all that good stuff you do us. Write us a review. We love hearing stuff like that. And you got any suggestions or any questions, as always, it's open. Let me know. So I think that's it, man. And until next week, we got a big interview coming up next week. So until next week, keep pounding.
Later, everyone.
So I should have this stuff set up so I can stop it as soon as it's done. There we go. Oh, and I want to end the meeting.